The storm came out of nowhere, howling winds, freezing rain, and a darkness so thick you could barely see the hand in front of your face. Ethan's truck had slid off the icy road, his 10-year-old daughter shivering in the passenger seat. They were stranded miles from town when headlights appeared through the snow, a sleek black SUV that had also gotten stuck. Inside was Claire Donovan, the CEO of a billion-dollar company, dressed in heels and panic. That night, fate trapped two strangers from completely different worlds in a single, snow-covered cabin. What happened over those next few hours would remind them, and all of us, that kindness can melt even the coldest storms. Hey everyone, welcome to your channel name, where stories about love, compassion, and second chances come alive. If you believe the world could use a little more kindness, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us keep bringing stories like this one to you every week. Ethan Miller wasn't having an easy life. After his wife passed away 3 years ago, he was left to raise their daughter, Lily, all on his own. He worked long shifts at a construction company, came home exhausted, and still made time to help Lily with homework, tuck her in, and whisper a promise every night, "Daddy's not going anywhere." On that particular Friday evening, Ethan had taken Lily up to the mountains for a short weekend trip, a break they both desperately needed. But nature had other plans. By nightfall, a blizzard hit hard. The roads turned slick, the sky disappeared behind a wall of white, and the GPS failed. Ethan could barely see the road when his truck slid sideways into a ditch. "Daddy?" Lily's voice trembled. "Are we stuck?" He tried to smile. "Just for a bit, sweetheart. We'll figure it out." He was about to step out when another vehicle's headlights cut through the storm. A luxury SUV had skidded to a stop just a few yards away. The door opened, and a woman stepped out, tall, elegant, and completely unprepared for mountain weather. Her coat looked expensive, her shoes had heels, and her phone flashlight flickered weakly in the snow. "Hey! You okay?" Ethan called out. She shouted back, "I think I took the wrong turn. My car's dead, and my phone's losing battery." "Join us in the truck," he said without thinking twice. "It's freezing out there." A few minutes later, she climbed in. Her name was Claire Donovan, CEO of Donovan Dynamics, one of the biggest tech companies in the country. She looked like she belonged in a boardroom, not in the middle of a snowstorm. Lily handed her a small thermos. "You can have some hot chocolate, miss." Claire blinked, surprised. "Oh, thank you." She wrapped her hands around the cup like it was the first warmth she'd felt all night. The truck heater struggled, and the wind rattled the doors. Ethan realized they couldn't stay there. They needed shelter fast. "I saw a ranger cabin about a mile back," he said. "We'll head there on foot." Claire hesitated. "In this weather? Are you sure?" Ethan nodded. "It's our only shot." He wrapped Lily in a blanket, tucked her close, and led the way through the snow. Claire followed, stumbling on the icy path, but Ethan slowed down so she could keep up. Each step felt heavier than the last until finally, through the swirling white, a small wooden cabin came into view. Inside, it was cold but dry. Ethan found some old firewood and managed to spark a flame. The glow filled the room with a soft orange warmth. Lily fell asleep quickly beside the fire, her head on her father's lap. Claire sat across from them, rubbing her hands. She looked at Ethan, the rough edges of a man who'd seen better days, but whose eyes held nothing but gentleness. "You're good with her," she said quietly. He smiled faintly. "She's my whole world." For a while, there was only the crackle of the fire. Then Claire sighed. "You know, it's funny. I spend my life running companies, making deals, controlling everything, and yet here I am, completely helpless because I don't know how to survive one night in the snow." Ethan chuckled softly. "Well, life's a pretty good teacher. It just throws the lessons when you least expect them." Hours passed. The temperature dropped again, and the wind howled outside. Claire shivered despite the fire. Ethan noticed and offered his blanket. "You'll freeze," she protested. He shrugged. "I've got a thick jacket." "You don't." She hesitated, then whispered almost apologetically, "Can I slip under your blanket? Just until it warms up?" Ethan felt his heart skip. Not because of the words, but because behind them was something raw human vulnerability. She wasn't the powerful CEO in that moment. She was just someone scared, cold, and in need of kindness. He nodded, spreading the blanket wider. "Sure." They sat side by side, close enough to feel each other's warmth. For a while, neither spoke. The firelight danced across their faces, softening the edges of who they thought they were. Claire broke the silence. "You know, I don't usually talk about my personal life. But I've been alone for a long time. Too busy proving I could run an empire to realize I'd lost touch with people." Ethan listened quietly. Sometimes kindness starts with letting people in. Even if it's just for one night. Her eyes glistened. "I forgot what kindness feels like." He smiled gently. "It's still there. You just have to stop long enough to feel it." As dawn crept over the horizon, the storm eased. A rescue team found them hours later, safe but tired. They returned to town, and that could have been the end of their story. But kindness has a strange way of writing sequels. A week later, Ethan got a call from a number he didn't recognize. "Mr. Miller? It's Claire Donovan." He froze. "Oh, hi. You made it back okay?" "Yes," she said, her voice softer now. "And I haven't stopped thinking about that night. You and your daughter showed me more humanity than I've seen in years. I'd like to repay that kindness." He laughed lightly. "You don't owe me anything." "Maybe not," she said. "But I want to." 2 days later, she invited him and Lily to her company's headquarters in the city. When they arrived, the receptionist greeted them like VIP guests. Claire met them in the lobby, dressed in her usual polished style but smiling in a way that wasn't rehearsed. "I have a job offer for you," she said. "My company's expanding into sustainable housing, and we need someone who understands real work, someone with heart. You built that fire, you kept your daughter safe, and you didn't hesitate to help a stranger. That's the kind of leadership money can't buy." Ethan stared, speechless. I don't even have a degree." "I'm not hiring a degree," she said. "I'm hiring a man who knows kindness." He accepted, and over the next few months, their paths kept crossing. Work meetings turned into coffee chats, and coffee chats turned into something deeper. Lily adored Claire, she'd call her Miss C, and together they baked cookies in Claire's sleek city kitchen like they'd known each other forever. Claire found herself laughing again, real laughter, the kind that shakes off years of loneliness. And Ethan? For the first time since losing his wife, he felt like life was opening its arms again. One evening, after a long day, Ethan and Claire sat on the porch of her lakeside cabin, the same mountains where they'd first met. The air was crisp, the water still, and Lily was inside drawing by the fire. Claire leaned her head on his shoulder. "You ever think about how strange it is? One snowstorm changed everything." Ethan smiled. Maybe it wasn't the storm. Maybe it was kindness finding its way through the snow. She laughed softly. Kindness and a really bad sense of direction. He chuckled, pulling her close. "Hey, sometimes getting lost is the best way to find what matters." They sat in silence, watching the stars shimmer over the lake. The world felt smaller, kinder, and infinitely more connected. Kindness doesn't always show up in grand gestures. Sometimes it's a cup of hot chocolate shared with a stranger, a blanket offered in the cold, or the courage to let someone in when your heart has been closed for too long. That night in the cabin wasn't just about survival, it was about rediscovering the human warmth that so often gets buried beneath our busy lives. So if you take one thing from this story, let it be this: kindness costs nothing, but it can change everything. Thanks for watching, your channel name. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a reminder that compassion still matters. And remember, kindness isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing we've got.